The Last Hope, Earth's Final Stand. The vast expanse of space stretched endlessly before Admiral Sarah Chen as she stood on the bridge of the ISS Horizon, Earth's last orbiting sanctuary. Her weathered face, etched with lines of worry and determination, reflected the soft blue glow of holographic displays. Each screen told a story of desperation. Earth's defenses crumbling, its cities in ruins, its people huddled in underground shelters. For 3 relentless years, the Zarkov Empire had waged war against humanity. Their superior technology and overwhelming numbers had pushed mankind to the brink of extinction. Now, as Sarah gazed at the battered planet below, she knew they were out of time. "Admiral," a young lieutenant called out, his voice tight with tension. "The Zarkov fleet has breached the Kuiper Belt. Estimated time of arrival, 6 hours." Sarah closed her eyes, allowing herself a moment of fear before steeling her resolve. "Understood, Lieutenant. Initiate Operation Phoenix." A hush fell over the bridge as the crew realized the significance of the order. Operation Phoenix, Earth's final gambit, its last desperate attempt to survive the alien onslaught. Deep beneath the surface of Mars, in a secret facility known only to a handful of Earth's leaders, something stirred. Massive generators hummed to life, their energy readings spiking to levels never before achieved by human technology. In a cavernous hangar, bathed in an eerie blue light, a single ship began to power up. The vessel was unlike anything humanity had ever built. Its sleek, obsidian hull seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. No visible weapons marred its surface, no conventional engines were apparent. It was the culmination of decades of reverse-engineered alien technology, combined with humanity's boundless creativity and desperation. As the ship, christened the Phoenix, came to life, Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood before it, her heart racing. As the lead scientist on the project, she knew every inch of the vessel, every groundbreaking system it contained, but even she couldn't fully comprehend the power they had unleashed. "Dr. Rodriguez," a voice crackled through her comms, "the Zarkov fleet has been detected. We're activating the Phoenix." Elena took a deep breath, her hand resting on the ship's cool surface. "Understood. Initiating pilot interface." Inside the Phoenix, Captain Jack Harper opened his eyes as his consciousness merged with the ship's systems. It was a sensation unlike anything he had ever experienced, as if his very being had expanded to fill every circuit, every conduit of the massive vessel. "Phoenix to control," he said, his voice resonating with an otherworldly timbre. "Systems online. Ready for launch." Back on the ISS Horizon, Admiral Chen watched as a priority transmission came through. Her eyes widened as she read the message, a glimmer of hope igniting in her chest for the first time in years. "Attention all personnel," she announced, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's future. "Operation Phoenix is underway. May whatever gods exist have mercy on our souls." As the crew of the Horizon held their breath, the surface of Mars seemed to ripple. In a burst of energy that defied conventional physics, the Phoenix emerged from its underground lair. It rose gracefully into the thin Martian atmosphere before accelerating at an impossible speed, leaving a trail of shimmering distortions in its wake. Aboard the Phoenix, Captain Harper felt a surge of exhilaration as the ship responded to his thoughts. The vessel moved with a fluidity that seemed to bend the very fabric of space-time. Star systems blurred past as the Phoenix hurtled towards its confrontation with the Zarkov Armada. In the void between Mars and Jupiter, the Zarkov fleet advanced with unwavering confidence. 10,000 warships, each a city-sized monument to alien might, moved in perfect formation. At the heart of the Armada, aboard the flagship Eternal Dominion, Supreme Commander Zarkon surveyed his forces with cold satisfaction. For too long, the humans had resisted the inevitable. Their stubborn defiance had been amusing at first, then irritating. Now, as his fleet prepared to deliver the final blow, Zarkon felt only contempt for the primitive species that had dared to challenge the Empire's supremacy. "Supreme Commander," one of his officers reported, Our long-range sensors have detected an anomaly approaching from the direction of Mars. Zarkon's facial tentacles twitched with mild interest. Specify. It appears to be a single vessel, sir, but the energy readings are off the charts. It's moving at a speed we've never encountered before. For the first time in centuries, Zarkon felt a flicker of uncertainty. He pushed it aside, reminding himself of the overwhelming might at his command. Prepare the fleet for engagement. Whatever trick the humans have devised, it will not save them. As the Phoenix streaked towards its destiny, Captain Harper felt the weight of humanity's hopes resting upon his shoulders. The ship's sensors painted a clear picture of the enormous Zarkov fleet ahead, a wall of destruction poised to annihilate Earth. Phoenix to Earth, he transmitted, his voice steady despite the odds. We have visual contact with the enemy fleet, engaging in 5 minutes. On Earth, in underground bunkers and hidden command centers, military leaders and civilians alike held their breath. Some prayed, others wept, all united in the knowledge that the next few hours would determine the fate of their species. Admiral Chen, watching from the ISS horizon, clenched her fists. "Godspeed, Phoenix," she whispered. "You're all we have left." As the distance closed between humanity's last hope and the alien armada, the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. The universe watched, waiting to see if a single ship, born of desperation and genius, could turn the tide against an overwhelming force. The Phoenix surged forward, its revolutionary systems pulsing with power. Captain Harper, his mind one with the ship, prepared for a battle that would echo through the ages. Whether in triumph or defeat, humanity would show the galaxy that they would not go quietly into the night. The stage was set. The final battle for Earth's survival was about to begin. The Titan's awakening. As the Phoenix hurtled through space, Captain Jack Harper felt a profound connection with the ship that defied explanation. Every system, every particle of the vessel's being, seemed to pulse in harmony with his thoughts. The revolutionary quantum interface that linked his consciousness to the ship's AI core allowed for reflexes and decision-making capabilities far beyond human limitations. Status report, Harper subvocalized, the command instantly processed by the ship's systems. The AI's response materialized in his mind. All systems nominal, Captain. Approaching Zarkov fleet, ETA, 2 minutes. Harper took a deep breath, centering himself. The weight of humanity's fate pressed heavily upon him, but he pushed aside the fear, focusing instead on the task at hand. As they closed in on the massive alien armada, he activated the Phoenix's primary defense system, a cutting-edge adaptive camouflage that bent light and other forms of radiation around the ship's hull. To the Zarkov's sensors, the Phoenix simply vanished. Aboard the Eternal Dominion, Supreme Commander Zarkon's composure faltered for the first time in decades. "Report," he bellowed, his voice reverberating through the command center. "Where is the human vessel?" His officers scrambled to make sense of the readings, their normally cool demeanor cracking under the unprecedented situation. "Supreme Commander," one finally spoke up, "the ship, it's gone. Our sensors can't detect it anywhere." Zarkon's eyes narrowed, his facial tentacles writhing with agitation. "Impossible. Nothing can simply disappear. Expand our sensor range. Find that ship." As the Zarkov fleet erupted into frantic activity, the Phoenix glided silently through their formation. Harper marveled at the alien ship's design, massive city-sized vessels bristling with weapons that could shatter planets. Yet for all their power, they were blind to the threat moving among them. "Phoenix to Earth," Harper transmitted, his message encrypted and compressed into a burst of data that would be nearly impossible to intercept. "We've penetrated the enemy fleet, preparing to engage." Back on Earth, in the depths of the Cheyenne Mountain complex, General Marcus Steele received the transmission. A grizzled veteran of countless battles against the Zarkov, Steele allowed himself a grim smile. "Godspeed, Phoenix," he muttered. "Give him hell." As the Phoenix maneuvered into position, Harper activated the ship's primary weapon system. Unlike conventional weapons, the Phoenix utilized a revolutionary technology based on manipulating the fundamental forces of the universe. The ship began to generate a localized field that altered the strong nuclear force within a targeted area. Target locked. The AI informed Harper, awaiting your command. Harper hesitated for a split second, the enormity of what he was about to do weighing heavily upon him. Then, with a thought, he gave the order. Fire. The effect was instantaneous and devastating. A sphere of scintillating energy burst from the Phoenix, engulfing the nearest Zarkov ship. Within the field, the laws of physics twisted. The strong nuclear force holding together the atoms of the alien vessel weakened, and in a cascading reaction, the ship simply disintegrated. One moment, a mighty warship floated in space. The next, it was gone, leaving behind nothing but a rapidly expanding cloud of subatomic particles. The shock wave rippled through the Zarkov fleet. Alarms blared across thousands of ships as the aliens struggled to comprehend what had just happened. Supreme Commander Zarkon stared in disbelief at the empty space where one of his most powerful vessels had been moments ago. What was that? He demanded, his usual arrogance replaced by a growing fear. Before his officers could respond, another ship vanished, then another. The Phoenix, still cloaked and undetectable, moved through the fleet like an avenging spirit, its weapon rewriting the laws of physics with each devastating shot. As chaos erupted among the Zarkov, Harper allowed himself a moment of grim satisfaction. The years of sacrifice, the countless lives lost in developing this technology, it hadn't been in vain. For the first time since the war began, humanity had the upper hand. But the battle was far from over. The initial surprise of the attack quickly wore off, and the Zarkov began to react. Thousands of ships started maneuvering, their weapons charging as they prepared to unleash a barrage that could shatter worlds. They're adapting, the AI warned Harper, detecting increased sensor activity. Our camouflage may not hold much longer. Harper nodded, his mind racing through possible strategies. Time to change tactics. Prepare for high-speed maneuvers. Let's see what this ship can really do. With a thought, Harper deactivated the camouflage. The Phoenix shimmered into view, its obsidian hull reflecting the light of distant stars and weapon discharges. For a moment, both sides seemed to pause, the Zarkov finally laying eyes on the vessel that had wreaked such havoc. Then, all hell broke loose. Thousands of Zarkov ships opened fire simultaneously, filling space with a dazzling array of energy beams and projectiles. The sheer volume of firepower was enough to annihilate entire fleets. But the Phoenix moved like nothing the aliens had ever encountered. It twisted and turned, defying the laws of inertia as Harper's enhanced reflexes and the ship's AI worked in perfect harmony. Energy beams that should have vaporized the vessel instead passed harmlessly through the space it had occupied microseconds earlier. As the Phoenix danced through the storm of enemy fire, it continued its assault. With each pass, more Zarkov ships vanished, their very atoms scattered to the solar winds. The vast alien fleet, which had seemed so invincible mere minutes ago, was now in complete disarray. Aboard the Eternal Dominion, Supreme Commander Zarkon watched in horror as his mighty armada crumbled before a single human ship. His mind reeled, unable to comprehend how the primitive species he had so easily dismissed had developed such devastating technology. All ships, concentrate fire on that vessel. He roared, desperation creeping into his voice. I want it destroyed. But the Phoenix was always one step ahead, its impossible maneuvers and devastating weapon leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. As Harper guided the ship through the chaos, he felt a surge of hope. For the first time in years, humanity had a fighting chance. Yet even as the tide of battle turned, Harper knew that the true test was yet to come. The Zarkov were nothing if not adaptable, and they would not go down without a fight. As the Phoenix prepared for another attack run, the real battle for Earth's survival was about to begin. In the depths of space, humanity's last hope danced among the stars, its every move bringing mankind closer to salvation or annihilation. Battle in the void. The vacuum of space erupted into a dazzling display of destruction as the Phoenix weaved through the Zarkov fleet. Captain Jack Harper, his mind merged with the ship's systems, pushed the vessel to its limits. The Phoenix responded with breathtaking agility, twisting and turning in ways that defied conventional physics. Warning, the AI's voice echoed in Harper's mind. Enemy adapting tactics. Detecting coordinated attack patterns. Harper gritted his teeth, feeling the strain of the intense maneuvering. Understood. Initiate countermeasures protocol Omega. As if responding to his very thoughts, the Phoenix's hull began to shimmer. Microscopic nanites rearranged the ship's outer layer, creating a constantly shifting pattern that made it nearly impossible for the Zarkov targeting systems to lock on. Aboard the Eternal Dominion, Supreme Commander Zarkon watched in growing frustration as his fleet's attacks continued to miss their mark. Impossible, he muttered, his facial tentacles writhing in agitation. No ship can move like that. No technology can evade us so completely. One of his officers, a young tactician named Vexlor, approached cautiously. Supreme Commander, I believe I've identified a pattern in the human ship's movements. If we recalibrate our weapons and coordinate our fire. Zarkon's eyes narrowed. Do it. I want that ship reduced to atoms. As the Zarkov fleet adjusted its tactics, Harper felt the shift in the battle's rhythm. The enemy fire, once easily avoided, now came dangerously close to striking the Phoenix. A glancing hit from an energy beam sent tremors through the ship, causing alarms to blare. Hull integrity at 92%. The AI reported. Regenerative systems engage, but we cannot sustain prolonged damage. Harper nodded grimly. Time to show them what else we can do. Activate the quantum displacement drive. Deep within the Phoenix, a revolutionary engine hummed to life. Unlike conventional propulsion systems, the quantum displacement drive didn't move the ship through space. It moved space around the ship. In a flash of blinding light, the Phoenix seemed to blink out of existence, reappearing instantaneously behind the Zarkov fleet. The sudden disappearance and reappearance of the human vessel sent shockwaves of confusion through the alien armada. Before they could react, Harper unleashed another barrage from the Phoenix's primary weapon. A dozen Zarkov ships disintegrated in rapid succession, their atoms scattered to the solar winds. On Earth, in underground command centers and hidden bunkers, military leaders watched the battle unfold with a mixture of awe and hope. General Marcus Steele, his weathered face illuminated by holographic displays, allowed himself a small smile. That's it, Harper, he murmured. Show those bastards what humanity is made of. But the Zarkov were far from defeated. Supreme Commander Zarkon, realizing the true threat posed by the Phoenix, made a decision that would change the course of the battle. All ships, he commanded, his voice resonating through the fleet's communication channels. Disengage from the human vessel. Prepare for simultaneous quantum jump. Target: Earth. Harper's blood ran cold as he intercepted the transmission. The Zarkov were abandoning their attack on the Phoenix and instead preparing to unleash their full might on humanity's homeworld. Even with its incredible capabilities, the Phoenix couldn't hope to stop 10,000 ships from bombarding Earth. No, Harper whispered, his mind racing. We can't let them reach Earth. We have to stop them here. As the Zarkov fleet began to realign for their jump to Earth, Harper made a desperate decision. AI, divert all power to the quantum displacement drive. We're going to jump into the heart of their fleet. Warning, the AI responded. Such a maneuver carries extreme risk. The energy release could be catastrophic. Harper closed his eyes, knowing that what he was about to do might very well be a suicide mission. Understood. But we have no choice. Initiate jump on my mark. As the Phoenix prepared for its desperate gambit, the Zarkov fleet finalized its preparations. Thousands of ships, each capable of laying waste to entire continents, stood poised to deliver the final blow to humanity. Jump in 3, 2, 1. Mark. Harper commanded. In a blinding flash of energy, the Phoenix materialized in the very center of the Zarkov formation. The sudden appearance of the human ship, coupled with the massive energy discharge from its quantum drive, created a shockwave that rippled through the alien fleet. Hundreds of Zarkov ships, caught unprepared by the Phoenix's audacious maneuver, collided with each other or were torn apart by the energy release. The carefully coordinated jump to Earth dissolved into chaos as the alien vessels struggled to avoid destruction. Aboard the Eternal Dominion, Supreme Commander Zarkon was thrown to the ground as his flagship shuddered from the impact. What happened? He roared, struggling to his feet. Where is the human ship? Before his officers could respond, alarms blared throughout the vessel. The Phoenix, its hull glowing white-hot from the energy discharge, unleashed its primary weapon at point-blank range. The Eternal Dominion, pride of the Zarkov fleet, began to disintegrate from within as the laws of physics were rewritten around it. Harper, his consciousness still merged with the Phoenix, felt the strain of the incredible forces at work. Warning signals flashed through his mind as the ship's systems struggled to cope with the aftermath of the quantum jump. Hull integrity critical, the AI reported. Multiple systems failing. Recommend immediate withdrawal. But Harper knew they couldn't stop now. The Zarkov fleet was in disarray, but it was far from defeated. If they retreated now, Earth would still be at risk. Negative, Harper responded, his voice tight with determination. We press the attack. Reroute all available power to weapons and life support. We end this here and now. As the Phoenix continued its assault, tearing through the heart of the Zarkov fleet, the tide of the battle shifted decisively. The once mighty alien armada, which had seemed unstoppable mere hours ago, now fought desperately for survival. In the chaos of the battle, with thousands of ships exchanging fire and the very fabric of space-time distorted by the energies unleashed, the fate of two civilizations hung in the balance. The Phoenix, humanity's last hope, stood as a gleaming symbol of defiance against the overwhelming odds. As the battle reached its crescendo, Harper allowed himself a moment of grim satisfaction. Whatever the outcome, humanity had proven that it would not go quietly into the night. The galaxy would remember this day, when a single ship stood against an empire and shook the very foundations of the universe. The final act of this cosmic drama was about to unfold, and the future of Earth hung in the balance. Echoes of humanity. As the battle raged on, the void of space became a canvas painted with destruction. The once orderly formation of the Zarkov fleet had devolved into chaos, with thousands of ships desperately maneuvering to avoid the Phoenix's devastating attacks. Captain Jack Harper, his consciousness still merged with the ship's systems, felt every impact, every strain on the hull as if it were his own body. Warning signals flashed through his mind, a constant reminder of the Phoenix's deteriorating condition. Hull integrity at 47%, the AI reported, its usual calm tone tinged with urgency. Multiple systems failing. Estimated operational time remaining 18 minutes. Harper gritted his teeth, pushing aside the fatigue that threatened to overwhelm him. Reroute all non-essential power to shields and weapons. We need to press our advantage while we still can. As the Phoenix continued its relentless assault, tearing through the Zarkov ships with its reality-altering weapon, Harper's mind drifted to the moments that had led to this pivotal battle. In his mind's eye, he saw Dr. Elena Rodriguez, her face etched with determination as she explained the principles behind the Phoenix's revolutionary technology. It's not just a weapon, Jack, she had said, her eyes gleaming with a mixture of pride and fear. It's a key to understanding the very fabric of the universe. In the wrong hands, it could unmake reality itself. The memory shifted, and Harper found himself back in the underground facility on Mars, mere hours before the Phoenix launch. General Marcus Steele had pulled him aside, his weathered face grave. "You understand what's at stake here, Harper," Steele had said, his voice low. "This isn't just about winning a war. It's about the survival of our species. If you fail..." Harper had nodded, the weight of responsibility settling heavily on his shoulders. "I won't fail, sir. Whatever it takes, I'll make sure humanity has a future." Now, as the battle reached its fever pitch, those words echoed in Harper's mind. Whatever it takes. Aboard the remnants of the Eternal Dominion, Supreme Commander Zarkon watched in disbelief as his mighty fleet crumbled before a single human vessel. His facial tentacles writhed in agitation, a sign of the fear and anger that coursed through him. "How?" he roared, rounding on his surviving officers. "How can one ship, one human, defy the might of the Zarkov Empire?" Vexilor, the young tactician who had earlier proposed a strategy against the Phoenix, stepped forward cautiously. "Supreme Commander, I believe I understand now. The humans, they're not fighting just for victory. They're fighting for survival. For them, there is no alternative but to win." Zarkon's eyes narrowed as he considered Vexilor's words. In all their centuries of conquest, the Zarkov had never faced an enemy with nothing left to lose. The realization sent a chill through him, a feeling he had not experienced in eons. Doubt. Back on the Phoenix, Harper steeled himself for what he knew would be the final push. The ship's systems were failing, its revolutionary technology pushed far beyond its intended limits. But in its dying throes, the Phoenix had the power to end the war once and for all. "Aye," Harper commanded, his voice hoarse with exhaustion. "Initiate Protocol Omega. Overload the quantum displacement drive and the primary weapon systems simultaneously." There was a pause, longer than the usual instantaneous response. When the AI spoke, its voice carried a note of what could almost be described as concern. "Captain Harper, initiating Protocol Omega will result in a cascade reaction that will destroy the Phoenix and everything within a radius of approximately 1 light minute. There will be no possibility of escape or survival." Harper closed his eyes, a sense of calm washing over him. "I understand. But it's the only way to ensure the Zarkov fleet is completely neutralized. Earth must be protected at all costs." As the Phoenix began to glow with an otherworldly light, the energy building within it reaching critical levels, Harper opened a channel to Earth. "Phoenix to Earth Command. Prepare for final transmission." In the depths of Cheyenne Mountain, General Steele leaned forward, his heart pounding. "We read you, Phoenix. What's your status?" Harper's voice came through, filled with a mixture of determination and resignation. "Sir, we've dealt significant damage to the Zarkov fleet, but we can't sustain the fight much longer. I'm initiating Protocol Omega. The resulting detonation should neutralize the remaining enemy forces, but there won't be anything left of the Phoenix." A heavy silence fell over the command center. Steele closed his eyes, understanding the sacrifice that was about to be made. "Understood, Captain. Your actions today have saved humanity. Your name will be remembered for generations to come." Harper allowed himself a small smile. "Thank you, sir. It's been an honor. Phoenix out." As the final transmission faded, Harper turned his full attention to the task at hand. The Phoenix, its hull now glowing like a newborn star, accelerated towards the heart of the remaining Zarkov fleet. Supreme Commander Zarkon, realizing too late the humans' intentions, barked out a desperate order. "All ships, maximum acceleration. Retreat. Ret." His words were cut short as the Phoenix detonated. For a brief moment, a new sun bloomed in the void of space. The laws of physics buckled and warped as the combined energies of the quantum displacement drive and the reality-altering weapon were released in a single cataclysmic burst. In an instant, the mighty Zarkov fleet, which had terrorized the galaxy for centuries, was gone. No trace remained of the thousands of ships that had threatened Earth's very existence. And at the center of it all, the Phoenix, humanity's last hope, had vanished in the flames of its own creation. As the light of the explosion faded, an eerie silence fell over the battlefield. On Earth, in underground bunkers and hidden command centers, humans held their breath, waiting to see if their desperate gambit had paid off. The war that had pushed humanity to the brink of extinction was over. But at what cost? And what would the future hold for a species that had glimpsed the true nature of the universe and harnessed its power in the name of survival? As the dust settled on this cosmic conflict, the echoes of humanity's stand against annihilation would ripple through the galaxy for eons to come. A new dawn for Earth. In the aftermath of the Phoenix's sacrifice, an uneasy silence fell over Earth. For days, the planet's remaining defense systems scanned the heavens, searching for any sign of surviving Zarkov forces. But the skies remained clear, the threat that had loomed over humanity for years finally vanquished. In the secure depths of Cheyenne Mountain, General Marcus Steele stood before a gathering of world leaders, his weathered face illuminated by the glow of holographic displays. The room was thick with tension as everyone awaited his report. "Ladies and gentlemen," Steele began, his voice grave, "I can now confirm with certainty that the Zarkov invasion force has been completely neutralized. Captain Harper and the Phoenix succeeded in their mission, at the cost of their own lives." A collective sigh of relief swept through the room, followed by a moment of somber silence for the heroes who had made the ultimate sacrifice. The President of the United Allied Nations stepped forward, her eyes glistening with unused tears. "General Steele, what you and your team have accomplished is nothing short of miraculous. Humanity owes you a debt that can never be repaid." Steele nodded solemnly. "Thank you, Madam President. But the real heroes are the men and women of Project Phoenix, especially Captain Harper and Dr. Rodriguez. Their sacrifice has given us a future." As the implications of their victory sank in, discussions quickly turned to the monumental task of rebuilding. Cities lay in ruins, populations had been decimated, and the scars of war ran deep. But for the first time in years, there was hope. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, one of the few survivors from the Phoenix Project, stood before a bank of monitors in what remained of the Mars facility. Her eyes scanned the data streaming in from deep space probes, searching for any anomalies that might have resulted from the Phoenix's final detonation. "Dr. Rodriguez," a young assistant called out, excitement evident in his voice, "you need to see this." Elena hurried over, her breath catching as she saw the readings. The massive energy release from the Phoenix's destruction had done more than just annihilate the Zarkov fleet. It had torn a hole in the very fabric of space-time, creating a stable wormhole. "My God," Elena whispered, her mind racing with the possibilities. "Do you realize what this means?" The assistant nodded, his eyes wide. "It's a gateway to the stars. We could explore parts of the galaxy we never thought possible." As news of the discovery spread, a new sense of purpose filled the hearts of humanity. The technology that had saved them from extinction now offered a path to the stars, a chance to ensure that they would never again be at the mercy of a hostile universe. In the weeks that followed, as Earth began its long process of healing and reconstruction, memorials were erected to honor the fallen. In every major city, statues of the Phoenix rising from the ashes became symbols of humanity's resilience and hope for the future. Captain Jack Harper's name became legendary, a symbol of the ultimate sacrifice made in the name of human survival. Stories of his bravery were told in schools, inspiring a new generation to look to the stars not with fear, but with a sense of wonder and possibility. 6 months after the final battle, a new ship was christened at the rebuilt lunar shipyards. Sleek and powerful, incorporating the revolutionary technology developed for the Phoenix, it stood as a testament to humanity's indomitable spirit. As dignitaries and survivors gathered for the launch ceremony, the ship's name was unveiled, Harper's Legacy. Dr. Rodriguez, chosen to lead the first expedition through the wormhole, stood before the assembled crowd. "Today, we embark on a new chapter in human history," she began, her voice carrying across the silent gathering. "The sacrifices made to bring us to this point will never be forgotten. But now we have a chance to ensure that those sacrifices were not in vain." She gestured towards the gleaming ship behind her. "Harper's Legacy will carry us into the unknown, not as conquerors, but as explorers. We go forth to seek new knowledge, to forge alliances, and to secure humanity's place among the stars." As the countdown to launch began, A sense of anticipation filled the air. Humanity, having faced extinction and emerged victorious, now stood on the brink of a new era. The threats they had faced had forged them into something stronger, more united than ever before. In the control room, General Steele watched the proceedings with a mixture of pride and melancholy. An aide approached him, holding a datapad. "Sir, we've intercepted some interesting transmissions from deep space. It seems news of our victory over the Zarkov has spread." Steele raised an eyebrow. "Oh, and what's the galaxy's reaction?" The aide couldn't suppress a smile. "Mostly disbelief, sir. But there's also respect. It seems humanity has made quite an impression." As Harper's legacy lifted off, its powerful engines propelling it towards the wormhole and the promise of new discoveries, Steele allowed himself a small smile. "Well," he mused, "I suppose we've earned our place at the galactic table." The ship disappeared into the swirling vortex of the wormhole, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of a species reborn. On Earth, and in colonies throughout the solar system, humans looked to the future with a newfound sense of purpose and unity. The war that had nearly destroyed them had also revealed their true strength. Humanity had faced the darkness and emerged into the light, ready to take its place among the stars. And somewhere, in the great beyond, the echo of the Phoenix's final act continued to ripple through the cosmos, a testament to the indomitable spirit of a species that refused to be extinguished. As a new chapter in human history began, the legacy of those who had sacrificed everything to secure this future would forever be etched in the annals of time. Humanity, once on the brink of extinction, now stood poised to become a force for change in the galaxy, guided by the memory of heroes and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. The end, and a new beginning.